I guess first we should say that we had a little bit of news tonight that Queen Elizabeth II has died at age 96. So condolences to the family over there.
We've had a couple of the UK members expressing their Uncle Scumdeath is beside himself.
Yeah, it's
He thinks
a hard thing. Hard thing to get through. Hello, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to the Guardian Hub podcast, where we talk Destiny and our love for the game. Tonight, we actually have a really special episode. Unfortunately, two of our hosts were unable to make it. Des Raven, we're going to miss out on you tonight and some lore. And Kingsley Mack, going to miss out on our beloved Maestro. Of the MC variety. He has COVID and not feeling that great right now. But the show is going on. Tonight we have a very special guest host, Gator from Guardian Down. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, that's me. Hey, thanks for inviting me, man. Anytime, man. I love talking to you guys. And don't worry, I got a 3-part lore episode tonight. We'll be good, man. I got it all rounded up.
Nice. Well, I think we were talking a little bit before the show. This would probably be a lot of just shooting from the hip tonight and getting you all an episode out. So I definitely appreciate you coming on here last minute with me. But It'll be fun. It will definitely be fun. I get a lot of grief because I don't get to talk much with Kingsley and Des. But tonight, you're going to be seeing and hearing a lot of me. So, Gator, it's been a little while since you've been on with us. What's been new with you, sir?
Yeah,
outside of the game?
Yeah, it has been a while. Gosh, man, where do I start? It's been a whirlwind. I'd say ever since the first part of August, it's been a whirlwind. Ever since I was on the Two Titans and a Hunter podcast, I was talking about blabbing my mouth off to Nitedemon saying, you know what, I'm going to start putting out videos for new members and new people who are coming back to Destiny. And I want to help them figure out all the little things about Destiny that us veterans know and have known for a long time. And my God, man, it's been humbling. I mean, I'm just a little baby channel still, but I had one video that got 1,000 views in 12 hours.
Oh, nice.
I mean, just nutso. I've never had this kind of thing happen to me, and I'm just very humbled. And and of course, Hazel and I are doing our weekly podcast, Guardian Downcast, and Hazel's under the weather this week as well, and hopefully he'll make it tomorrow night. And then we have another podcast, Playing Favorites, that we're releasing every 2 weeks. And then somewhere in the middle there, I'm trying to play, get my bounties done.
That's the tough balance, is being able to juggle content creation. You had Fat Balloonskis on 2 weeks ago now?
Yeah, a couple weeks.
And you mentioned I've been actually catching up now that I've been driving this week and doing the dealership thing, that you don't really consider yourself a content creator, but that's what we do. Even at podcast, we're content creators, but you're adding a whole new layer to that with video and another podcast.
Yeah, I was thrown into the fire just like I was podcasting. I'm learning how to do video editing with I'm using DaVinci Resolve 18, and I'm having fun, man. I got to admit. I mean, according to Lana, I've only got 20 years left in my life, so I'm gonna live them, man. I'm living it up, I'm not gonna look back and have regrets. If I want to try something, I'm just gonna try it, and that's what I'm doing, man. I'm just jumping out there. I'm putting out a what are they putting out a shingle or whatever they say that phrase is, but yeah, man, I'm living the life, and and I got to run a business. I forgot about that part. Did I mention that? And
Well,
it's been
hopefully you can do
raining
some of that from
crazy.
home, and then you can use that home time to do the content creation, right?
I'm trying, but right now it's all hands on deck because we've had half days because there's a low in the Gulf right now. It's just a funnel. It's just funneling rain over Florida right now, and it's been almost nonstop rain for the whole week. So it's been really crazy. In other words, pretty much status quo. How you
Right.
been, man? How you been doing?
I'm exhausted today. We're recording a little bit later than normal, just with the last minute scramble here. But started the new old position at the dealership I was last at before leaving the car business. Worked Monday through Thursday this week, a couple 12-hour days, a couple not 12-hour days. It really felt, and I was telling the guys there, I've seen some familiar faces, there's some new faces, but it's almost like I never left. I was able to pick back up and get, you know, remember most of what I was doing before pretty quick. With my experience in the business, it's been a pretty easy transition. I got my last couple days at the other place here. One's tomorrow. I switched my last day, which was supposed to be Saturday, for Sunday, just to give them the time that I agreed to.
Sure.
My youngest daughter's birthday party's on Saturday. So,
Mm.
it's going to be basically with that. If you consider the daughter's fourth birthday party, work, I'll be working basically 7 days this week. And my next day off it's going to be on Thursdays, which will be good since we're recording on Thursdays typically. And I won't have a late night to contend with and try to record on the road.
Yeah, I feel for you. That's a lot, some heavy duty hours, man.
Now, I
My wife.
did pick
Yeah.
up real quick. I'll tell you real quick. I did pick up a condenser mic for my iPhone and an adapter because it uses a 3.5 millimeter jack. I've tried it out on an iPad prior to getting it,
Huh?
and the quality of the condenser mic is really, really good. It's just a small, like, lapel mic, and I thought it would be really cool to use that, especially if I need to do something on the go. I just
I
need
was
to
gonna
figure
say.
out how I can Bluetooth a headset and still use that mic. So I haven't tried it out a lot on my phone to really hone it in, but I do have that available next time I'm on the go.
Yeah, we're gonna. So we can expect to hear some no one responds in real life episodes where you not at the airport, but you're in transit.
Right.
That's gonna be great, man. I love those.
Shout out
I remember we
to
had a. Go ahead.
I was gonna say shout out to Two Titans and a Hunter when you say that. I see Night Demon
Yes.
was or is listening in. Um and might actually be joining us
Hell
because
yeah! Come on.
he has that Guardian Hub control with one of his roles.
He's got that
Do
Guardian
I?
Hub juice. He's got that hard Guardian Hub juice. What's up, Night Demon?
No. Hello. Copyright, I'd say, using my trademark of respawning airports.
You got to pay a fee. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what he's saying.
My quality will hopefully be much better than his with this new lapel mic.
That's awesome. How
It's
you
in
been,
that
Night
case.
Demon? What have you been up to, man?
I'm working at the moment, so not enjoying Iron Banner because I'm working.
Well, don't feel bad. I have not jumped in at all this week.
Oh my god, that's so fun! You'll love it, Night Demon. It's a
Oh,
great game.
I didn't say I hadn't jumped in. I
Oh,
just
okay.
said I'm working now.
I got you.
He's just disappointed he doesn't have a console or something at work,
Oh yeah.
or can play on his phone with like controller or something.
Well, I could, you see, but I never know when I'm going to get here if there's going to be too much work for me to do. So is it worth me bringing my laptop? Is it worth me bringing a controller? Just so happens
Absolutely
tonight
it
there isn't that much work. So I was sitting watching YouTube videos, doing research for the show, but then it came up and said that you were live, and I thought, oh, I'll go and join them. Although I did look earlier, I thought, I'll have a look, see if Guardian Hub are recording. I thought, no, nobody there. Guardian down, no one there. I'm like, no. Oh dear.
Hey, are you getting that hurricane weather yet? It's heading your way, by the way.
Yeah, we've had like downpours all day.
Yeah.
Just been horrible all day.
Sorry, man.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
And hot too, right? It's still hot over there.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So you two recording a show, are you?
I think
Oh,
so.
yes.
If that's what you call it.
What does Elmer Fudd say? And pure
geez.
utter chaos? No, mutual chaos in
Utter destruction.
utter incompetency.
Incompetence. That's it. I remember the first time I was on his show, they did that saying at the end, and I was like, "What? I'm lost. What's this about?" It didn't happen the second time.
It became a thing after that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we all get our sayings, right? The best hub on the net, get toddled.
Oh yeah.
Mutual chaos, utter incompetency.
That's a fun show to be on, by the way. If you haven't been on it yet, it is a lot of fun. Those two guys are a trip. They are a trip to hang out with. They play off each other, and it's just crazy.
That's one thing I have not done in a while. Have been able to guest or help out on another podcast, just with my schedules. But one day I will get back into doing that.
Wow. Well, get better, Kingsley. Heard you're under the weather, dude.
Oh, yeah, get better.
COVID problems.
I might be looking at chat. I have that luxury tonight. I don't when we have a live show, so
right.
I'm taking it all in tonight.
You're super focused. I mean, that's how we get through it. The no scripts, the off the cuff, just go at it. But since I got you both here, we're really up for the next part, our next segment, the speed run. I'm just kidding.
Oh shit! I mean, can I cuss? Damn.
I was not prepared for that. I wasn't actually prepared to jump into a podcast. I was just going to say hi, and that was it.
Hi.
No, we got that lore segment we got to do, Nitedemon. Didn't I tell you about that?
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. See. Okay.
Before we get to that off the cuff lore segment, what have you all been doing in the game this week? Nitedemon, let's start with you first.
Iron Banner. It's just Banner. That's it. All week Banner. Although I did, admittedly pick up a few extra bounties because I'm grinding out that, 100 levels. And I only do those when I know I can jump on for like 5-10 minutes while I'm cooking dinner. Not fully concentrated on the Banner, but in between, it's always just Banner.
What do you think of that game type, man?
I love it. Mini mayhem.
It is. It's fun.
Just everybody's just throwing everything at each other, and just like nobody really cares what your kind of loadout is. It's just like anything goes.
Yeah.
Now I'm really curious to jump in. It'll be this weekend, but I'll be in there.
It's worth it. It really is. It's I think they've definitely knocked it out of the park with that one.
Gator, Iron Banner for you as well.
Yeah, I stream. I wanted to say this. A shout out to my community, our community, I should say. I streamed it last night, and I think there were 35 or 40 people that stopped by and said hello. Man, I was blown away. I was almost in tears. I couldn't believe how many people had stopped by to say hey, and I kept blowing myself up, Nitedemon, because I couldn't see the counter. I couldn't see the timer. I was looking everywhere for it, and they're like, "Look, it's right there. I'm looking at your screen. It's in the left corner." I'm like, "I don't see it. It's not in the left corner." And yeah, we had a great time. It was Grackle was there. We had Native Raider, which, by the way, he'll be on our show tomorrow night. He's one of our newer community members. He's got a YouTube channel. We'll be talking to him about. We had this is live. No big deal. The memories going. No, we had Grackle. We had Metal Giles. We had no, Soccer, you weren't there. Sorry, buddy. I was disappointed. Soccer wasn't there. But yeah, we had a great time, man. It was a lot of fun. And I'm missing somebody. But we had such a good time. It was so much fun. Everyone was quarterbacking in the chat, telling me how to play the game, and man, I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Oh, it was Slammin' and Priceless. They were both in there too. And man, they're Priceless. She's such a sweet girl. She's like, "Gator, help me. He killed me. Go get him." I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to get him." So
nice.
And in every game, she would say, "Thanks, Grackle." she would say, "I did better than my dad. I got a better KD than my dad." And Slayman's like, I could see he's got his hands in the air, like, okay. It's a lot of fun to play with. But and then we ran before reset. We ran a double King's Fall with you and Kingsley, and I think Edifier was in there. That was your raid group, so I'm trying to remember. But Kingsley was so nice. He messaged me the earlier in the day. I was finishing up a video, and he said, "Hey, you up for doing a raid?" I'm like, "With you guys? Hell yeah!" I said, "What time?" He said, "Well, I'm just putting feelers out to see if it's something you'd want to do." And we were able to put it together. In fact, you were surprised I was even there raiding.
Yes.
But yeah, just a smooth ride, smooth raid. Everyone knew what they were doing. It was so much fun. Just a great time. And then the following day, I did a King's Fall raid with Fat Bloonskis, and half of the team was from his community and half was from our community. We had me and Hazel, of course. We had the incomparable Elmer Fudd Games.
Double M, double D.
He always brings a lot of fun. He doesn't matter where he goes. He just brings a smile to your face. As soon as he enters the fire team chat, you're like, all right, Fudd's here. We're good. And Queen Slayer was his girlfriend that was running with him, and another buddy of his, a lifelong friend of his, Panda, was with him. And we had a challenge where I had to blink all the ships.
Oh, did you?
I did
Nice.
it. I did it. Panda and I think Fat Blinsky's did it too, because we're both warlocks, of course. And we blinked the entire. It took me a couple tries, but we got it done. It's such a good.
Nice.
Man, it's just been a great week so far.
Admittedly, that would have been harder in D1 though.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
They definitely made that jump easier. Back in my day,
Get off my lawn.
We had to run 5 ships up the hill. Yeah. No, it's been a good week, man. Thanks for asking.
So to piggyback on that, the team was when we ran it that night. Actually, shout out to Kingsley. He texted me while I was on the way home that one night, and said, "Hey, are you going to be on?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be home. It's like 30 minutes. I'll be there." But it was Edifier, me, you Gator, Muffin,
Ninja,
Kingsley,
yeah,
and Yoda. Yep.
Oh, that's right. Yoda was there too. Yeah.
So shout out to that. I definitely want to jump back in. I haven't been on really since reset. I really want to go for touch. I'm still a little sad that Kato had gotten it before me, and whoever else has gotten it before me. I'm kidding. My RNG definitely was used up with collective, so I want to be pushing to try to get touch as soon as possible.
I want it too, man, because they've actually made that rifle fun to use now. Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but in Destiny 1, it was useless outside the raid. You only used it for the sisters. That's all you used it for, because it did a lot of damage to the sisters, and it broke the shield. Or I'm trying to remember what.
What are you talking about? It was fantastic in PvP. You put a Titan bubble up, you stand in the bubble, you're in and out.
Codes.
Exactly.
Codes.
Yeah,
No.
It was fantastically fun.
We didn't have
and
rifts.
now, Laurely, oh my word, I can't wait to get it.
I know, it's gonna be fun, isn't it? And the fact that you grab the ring and lock it, and then you actually throw a blight. We even talked about that in one of our shows. How it would be awesome if we could throw a blight like those taking captains do and blind you. Oh my god, that'd be so much fun. So yeah, I want one. I've done 4 clears. Bungie, where's my touch?
I've got 12. Only 6 of those count as lootable clears.
Gotcha.
One day. We'll all have it one day.
We'll all be complaining how, oh yeah, touch, yeah.
Other than that, game-wise, I've been enjoying the season. I know, you all probably talked about it already on your shows, but, Gator, tell me a little bit, your thoughts on Season of the Plunder and just your overall thoughts. You can kind of incorporate Arc in there a little bit. Have you been using it? What do you feel about the season?
No spoilers, right?
That doesn't matter.
I've really been enjoying it. It's been more of a comical story this time around. Spider, rubbing everyone the wrong way like he normally does.
Titan boots.
Oh my God, I got Titan boots, and he actually said after I got him, right before I left him, he says, "Enjoy your skinny little boots." Oh no, he said
Now,
enjoy your tight little boots. I'm
question
like,
is,
Yeah.
did you put them in the vault,
no, I
maybe
destroyed them.
hoping that
No, I'm not.
there would be something else later on down the line?
Don't you do that to me, Nitedemon, because I dismantled
Well,
my helmet that I got this week too.
no, I think the boots might have been significant.
Oh well,
You can always go back and collect it on a warlock or hunter. It gives you
I'll
the
do
same
that.
pair of
I'll run it
boots,
back. I'll run it back with my Titan.
which is why I thought it might be significant. It might not be. It might turn out to be like the toothbrush. It might just sit in my
I'm
inventory
pretty
until
sure it's
now.
a troll. I'm pretty sure it's a troll.
I think it is. I mean, if it is, oh my god, if it isn't, yeah.
We could always go back on another character, like you said.
I've been
Demon.
I've been having fun. I haven't played the catch crash as much. I've been doing more of the expeditions. I love the expeditions, and I love the fact that you have like a little boss room at the end there. You know what's that last boss room thing called? I can't remember the dig or something where you're going to get the actual artifact from the enemy at the very end there. It's like the third level of the game types on the helm.
Expedition.
No, Expedition's the middle one. It's the one after Expedition.
For once, I'm not in game, so I can't double check it.
I know. I
Was
don't
it the
either.
lost sector the previous week that you had to go and kill the boss?
Was it a lost? I don't think it was a lost sector.
Yeah,
It
it was in the Mars lost sector, wasn't it?
Hmm.
Hmm.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I don't remember. I mean,
It was all icy, wasn't it?
It's a special map. I don't recognize the rooms. They look brand new.
No, it was
Yeah,
it was
it's
the
the little
Mars lost
mission.
sector.
It's
It
a
was
little
the Mars
mission.
lost sector where you had to go and kill the captain. Yeah, it was all icy instead of just being like Mars, and then
Right.
it had fallen doors as you went up and round and
Yeah, I
killed the
think
boss.
so.
It was only a couple of minutes, yeah.
I loved it. I did. I soloed all that stuff. It was a lot of fun. It's not that hard to finish. But yeah, I'm loving this. I'm loving the season so far. It's really it's not as serious as last season. It's a lot of fun, kind of a, and the weapons. I'm not sure I love the weapons yet. A slug shotgun that looks like a blunderbuss at the end. I'm more for originality. I mean, I'm more for like realism in weapons. It's hard to look at a blunderbuss with a fat open stock on it and a barrel on it and think that it's going to be accurate in any way. And all the pointy spikes and stuff coming out of them. I don't know if I'm into that. We'll see. I haven't gotten enough of them yet. I'm still trying to craft everything.
Aren't we all? I still don't have all my stuff crafted from last season. And I really would like to have them to catch up to Mo and Triumph score, which will probably never happen, but I will get there.
I'm there with you. I haven't. There's a lot of last season's weapons that I haven't done, and only because it was so expensive. To what is it? The energy you had to get. Man, I'm just terrible tonight. I'm
The
going
Umbral
to dim.
energies.
Yeah, the Umbral energy. Yeah, you had to have 27 of them to focus a weapon or to get a red bar every week. I'm like 27. You only get like 5 when you do the lost sector, and that lost sector is not a short lost sector. Not lost sector. The public event on Leviathan. That doesn't take a short amount of time. It's several phases to it, so it's not like you can really farm it. But,
But have you guys?
I've got
Sorry,
26 pieces.
Have you guys gone back to the crown and collected last season's artifact?
I did, yes.
Yes.
Because I
Because
want to
then
make
that
sure.
will passively, over time, with you just playing other things, give you like the Umbral energy, so that you can then go back to the crown at the beginning of the week and go, I want that red border one. I want that red border one, and just do it slowly over the next, season
That'd be
or so.
nice because I only have 26. I need 27, and I need one more to craft the submachine gun. So,
Callus mini tool.
Yeah, I want that. It's a good little for PvP. I'm thinking it's really good. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Night Demon, your thoughts on Season of the Plunderer or on Dark Dealer's Choice?
I'm enjoying it, but I'm finding that it's not as kind of friendly as the Leviathan was. Leviathan was you could either go and participate in the public event, or you could wander around in the other 2 rooms, do like bounty after bounty after bounty very quickly. Whereas I'm finding that the catch crash stuff and the expedition, sometimes you get a lot of people that are hogging those kills that for the bounties, and I want to stack up on my bounties. I want to get all my kills with like weapons and things, and sometimes I'm missing out on like 1 or 2 kills, I'm having to go back through it again just so that I can get it done. Whereas Leviathan, I knew that if I missed out on grabbing the scythe at one point, I knew it would come up again, and I'd be able to get those kills, or I'd be able to go run off by myself and do other kills. But apart from that, yeah, it's enjoyable. I think it's different, or similar to other things, but different to what we've had before.
Nice. Kingsley says, thumbs down, bounty complaints. Kingsley loves his bounties.
Drafty said, Kingsley sounds funny tonight.
We can hear it in his text. Again, feel better, Kingsley. Oh, man. I'm enjoying the season myself. Again, have not jumped in since reset, but I will be here this weekend once my life settles down here from the job change. But I do like the lighthearted aspect of it. It's not as serious in tone, or at least so far. Missions are good as far as replayability, and the catch crash is definitely interesting. I play a lot of times with my sound effects down. Kingsley talked in one of our previous episodes about that little whistle sound when you move from the first part of the catch crash onto the next, and you gotta take the man cannon all the way across. After trying to get my effects and hearing that a little bit more, it is really, really cool. I think the replayability is there on this season versus last. Doing the event in the Castellum, not as fun, right? Multiple layers of it. It just kind of seems like it drags on, where Catch Crash, I think, keeps your attention throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, it's very quick. Very bam, bam, bam. You're done. Moving on.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else you want to touch on, game-wise, you've been doing? Any thoughts on the game otherwise?
Oh, that was it for me.
Nitedemon must be working.
No, yeah, so no, no, any more thoughts? No.
Awesome. Let's talk about a little bit about the TWAB this week. We're missing all of our token TWAB readers from, for the most part. And
I can see if Hazel's on.
Right. He might just jump on and just read it out. I was going to tag him earlier, but I realized we were not friends in Discord, so I finally got him at it.
Yeah, Rodimus said it. Shit's broken arts movies.
Yep, shit's broken arts movies. It is really on the lighter side of the TWABs this week. They talk about a little bit about the Dares weapons and the updated loopholes, and basically saying they're, go and craft them, build them. Lightfall Collector's Edition, we know it's out there. You can order the Lightfall Collector's Edition without ordering the game if you've already ordered the game. Let's say, for example, through the Green Man Gaming discount that they have available. I have not personally pre-ordered yet. I probably will in a month or two, and really go from there. Yeah.
So you haven't got the new auto rifle weapon thing?
I don't. I would be interested in trying it out, but the last I heard, I don't know if it has changed.
Probably still not fixed. No, I don't know.
It's disabled in certain activities.
Yeah,
doing more than it should in Gambit. Yeah, so lots of it is broken. Arts movies, the works. From Sam this week. Sam did the TWAB. Stay crafty.
Can I add something?
Absolutely not. No, I'm
Okay.
kidding. Go ahead.
I was watching a video from I think it was I'm sorry, I can't remember, but he said that the 120 hertz setting on the Crucible for PS5s didn't show up anymore, and they just mentioned that in the TWAB here, that there was an issue, and that they're going to re-enable it. They're just having to fix this issue first, I guess. It was in the fixes part of it there. But another thing he said, I think this was misleading on YouTube. And he said, did you notice that the Dawn Chorus isn't available anymore for the Warlocks in your collections tab? Did you know that, Nitedemon? Oh, you're a Titan. Never mind.
Yeah, I think I did see that.
I do have 2 Dawn Choruses that I kept. So, yeah, I feel pretty good right now. Anybody want a Dawn Chorus? Highest bid.
Hoarding.
Sorry,
This isn't Diablo 3 or
I'm sorry,
one of those
yes.
games where you can trade loot within a certain
Great.
time frame.
My bad.
Interestingly enough, talking about hoarding, Dim has a function that you can sort out your weapons or any pieces in your inventory that's sunset. I actually had quite a few. I've actually reduced my amount of inventory under 600 by deleting a lot of sunset items. I have a few that I kept, but I'm honestly probably going to end up deleting them. A lot of them I think were like ritual weapons. I think there was a bow for one of them was a bow.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Actually
mine right now.
might have deleted the LFR. Komodo, I think it was.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of older weapons, but
1, 2, 3. I've got quite a few.
yeah, it adds up a lot of space. And yes, you can use them. You can use them in Crucible. You're not power enabled there, but really, I don't have the need or urge to go use them in Crucible. I have plenty of other weapons that I can use, or the ones that I'm more comfortable using, I should say, in Crucible. So I'm liquidating.
There's some I'll never get rid of, just for nostalgia.
It's not a material thing for me. I know the material thing has been a hot debate. I know you guys have had that before. I'm probably one of the few. I don't know if I don't know if it's really few, but I got 26,000 legendary shards. I'm maxed out on enhancement prisms, and I'm maxed out on both the golf balls. Right, so I don't really need the stuff. I find myself burning them just to use them,
right?
Because I don't really have the desire to go like upgrade a bunch of stuff, and when I do, I just use it and move on.
Well, I'm banned to talk about legendary shards on my podcast, but I'm not here. I started out with 32,000 with that exploit, and I'm at 8,300 now. If that gives you any indication. Legendary shards, everything costs legendary shards, man.
I get that, but how?
Like, for instance, I'm buying every day I'm buying enhancement cores, 30 shards a pop, because it's really hard to farm them otherwise. And I don't want to get my blue gear and buy it, and I don't want to burn prisms to get enhancement cores. That's asinine. That doesn't make sense to me, because the prisms are more valuable than the enhancement cores. But I'm at we don't have to go into this. This upsets people when I start talking about material farming and stuff. But I've got 700 now. I've built it up slowly. I'd had 500. I'm up to 775 enhancement cores now, and I'm maxed out on prisms. So and golf balls. Nice. So I'm in good shape right now. But I have a lot of crafting ahead of me, so I know it's going to go quick.
It will, but
there goes the chat.
Right. So one way to get them riled up. I did post an announcement though earlier tonight. If you do have questions for us here on the show, post them here in live chat. We'll answer them. Since we got this little combo thing going on tonight, it'll be fun. Again, off the cuff fun, as I like to say. But yeah, I mean, you're going to get a lot of those materials back, right? Especially now with the new way you can burn red borders and get the materials. I think you get more. You get more, I think, when you complete it, right?
You get 300 if you complete it, which is only 40 kills. I mean, this takes no time. And you get 100. You get a third of that if you just dismantle them.
Yeah,
I still complete them.
So, Gator, you and I, it was probably about a month or so ago. I was giving you a really hard time about your alts, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. No time to play alts now.
No time.
Sure. No time.
My whole thing with trying to get you to delete your alts into a charity stream, and that never came through. I kind of dropped it. I didn't want to give you too much of a hard time.
Oh, I don't.
You get enough grief from us, right?
No, I was fine with it. I was agreeable to doing it.
The point I was going to make to you is that if you don't do the alts, just imagine how much more materials you would have. I would imagine, and I thought about this briefly before linking my Epic account to get the emblem on what is it, the digital rewards from Bungie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I thought about doing my Epic account and maybe starting over, but I was like, I don't really necessarily want to do that because I would get bored doing that. I would have nothing, and that's time that I could spend on my main, where I have enough materials and I can go do stuff that I'd rather focus on.
Yeah. I may be the first guest that gets banned right in the middle of the show. Kingsley's already telling say ban him. And then Hazel heard me talking, so he's here now. He must have heard me say legendary shark. Sorry.
Quick question for Hazel while he's in chat. How's your voice? We do have a couple questions for the show coming in live. Question for the show. Why did you let Gator bring up bounties? Drafty?
I didn't say anything about bounties.
Nobody can stop Gator from bringing up anything when he's on his own podcast.
We are having fun tonight, Drafty, so all's fair in love and war. Question for the show. Tell us how you guys truly feel about your co-hosts. Night Demon, we'll let you go first.
I can't stand Respawn.
In a good way.
Oh, no, in a bad way.
Are you talking about his live updates from the road?
At the end of the day, let's face it, he's not even going to listen to this. I could say whatever I want about it.
Good.
Parody, on the other hand, I can't say anything about because I know he listens.
Yeah.
Man. Well, we'll catch him next time when he doesn't listen. Gator, how do you feel about Hazel?
You know, me and Hazel go at it sometimes in the Discord, but we're kind of like big and little brothers. We kind of that's just our nature. And it's funny, we'll talk normally like all business and in the chat with each other. And as soon as we fire the mics up, we just get an attitude. I can't explain it. But it's always a good attitude. I mean, it's entertaining. Everybody loves it when we kind of go at each other. And I was just talking to who was I talking to today? I said that, Hazel always has to take the contrarian view of whatever I say. And I can't remember who I was talking to, but he goes, yeah, but I love that part. I'm like, okay, that's why I let it go. I don't, but that's just, but that makes a good conversation though. Like in our playing favorites podcast, we were talking about games and education, and Hazel was not on board with it. And I was, because my wife's a teacher, and not to go into detail here, but there's kids with really bad disabilities and learning disabilities, and I think games can help them, at least in some form. It would have to be heavily regulated, of course, but
right.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, we get along, we do. I've been easy on him this week because he's been sick, so I haven't given him too much guff.
Speaking of Hazelnut, anywhere and everywhere, can't wait to hear what Sin thinks about Dez and Kingsley. I've got no complaints. It's magical. The only complaint I have is I don't talk enough, which could be a good thing for you all or a bad thing.
Oh, Gator and Hazel are the William F. Buckley / Gore Vidal for our time. Oh my God, what a reference. Okay.
I've no idea what that means, but yeah, go on then.
I have no idea what it means either, so
Grackle can elaborate in the chat.
Mojafo, you're
Mo's
just in time, buddy.
Mo's here.
I think we need to open up a Guardian Hub speak pipe just so we can hear more of Mo's voice.
There you go, man. I'm telling you need to do it. They're a lot of fun.
Oh man, this is probably one of the largest turnouts for listening in live. Thank you all for listening in.
That's awesome.
What other questions for the show does our chat have?
I've got a question for you guys. If you could swap your co-host for another co-host from one of the other shows, which one would it be and why?
Go ahead, King Sin. Sorry, I almost called you Kingsley.
That is a tough one. I don't know. Honestly, I wouldn't really change either of them, just because I'm so comfortable in what we're doing.
Yeah,
it's really hard.
Idea. You don't have to be comfortable. It throws you out of your comfort zone. You could have Hazel. He's quite level-headed at times, but sometimes gets a bit fire in his belly, and he wants to kind of have a fight about what his principles are on things. Or you could just have Respawn that just spouts nonsense, and you could just have.
He talks over you too. Don't forget that.
Yeah,
he talks over you.
Don't forget that. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I would swap.
We talked about doing this for a show.
Yeah,
We talked
that would be interesting.
Yeah,
I would almost I don't know if I'd say I'd swap both of them and then just take one on. Which is why Gator and I came in tonight. But yeah, I mean, really, either Gator or Hazel. I talk with you guys most often. That's again my comfort zone. Or you, Night Demon, really. Or actually, Admiral Nips probably would be my top picks.
That'd be a good one. He did, they did own Guardian Down at one point. Him and RNG Gator. They were so gracious to let us have the show. We've been riding on their coattails for a while now. I would say Night Demon because we don't talk enough. And me and Night Demon love Iron Banner. It'd probably be an Iron Banner episode, I would think.
Yeah.
But
I think when we do talk quite a lot, and
we do. Yeah. Well, I mean, we've done the tripod episodes, and myself and you, I believe, we tend to talk it up pretty good.
Yeah.
Everyone else is looking at their phone going, oh, look at the time.
Elmer Nips. They're correcting you on not Admiral Nips. It was FUT and RNG.
I'd have to say maybe Kingsley too. Because me and Kingsley, I think we could have some good conversations as well. So we talked about doing it one show. Like a 1 week everyone swaps around. But I don't know. We'd have to figure that out. That'd be a lot of
scheduling.
That's a lot of logistics for Respawn to one, understand, and two, stick to. I mean, if you heard him this week, he didn't even know he was in an airport until like 2 a.m. and I was asleep, and he's like messaging me going, "Why are you not responding?" I'm like, "I'm asleep."
Well, since Respawn doesn't listen to any of these shows, you mentioned that, or someone mentioned that him and I should do a show together. I'm like, I wouldn't make it, dude. I wouldn't make it to the end of the show. I just have to say I'm out. I'm sorry, I got to go.
It depends on what kind of mood he's in. Sometimes he's in a really good mood, and sometimes he's got a real fire behind what he wants to get across.
You can tell he's got a good heart because
yes,
he's been wanting to meet up with me because we're both in the Orlando area, so we're not too far from each other. But he's out of town all the time, so he has his family time. I don't want to intrude on that. So maybe one day, maybe GCX one day.
Definitely want to go.
Yeah.
I think I would definitely swap Parody for Dez because I'd like to see what the dynamics between me, Dez, and Respawn would be.
Oh yeah,
talking, because I know sometimes Dez gets fired up about things, and I'd like to see him kind of have an argument there with Respawn, and then I jump in and I regularly have arguments with Respawn in like our chats and things. So I'd just like to see a nice juicy argument. Nothing profound or just swearing at each other, but something decent.
Instead of a juicy argument, I prefer a moist argument.
Oh, you're gonna bring Chris in this? Come on.
Oh yes. Question for the show from Drafty. Ruffian, who is me. Have you gotten good yet? Nope, still haven't. I still pleb sometimes. Question from Keelhaul or Batman. Favorite raid encounter? Gator.
Oh, I'm really loving Golgoroth right now. I love Uncle Golgi. It's just
Uncle
fun.
Golgi.
You get the juice on. You get the juice spray on your mask right when you kill him at the end. It's so cool. And I like the new encounter, the way they've changed it up. So yeah, I'm gonna say Golgoroth.
Night Demon.
I like the Wrath of the Machine, the final boss.
Atrax.
Oh yes.
Not Atrax, is it?
Atrax?
Not Wrath. No, Wrath of the Machine, not Deepstone.
Oh, that's right. I'm getting confused.
I can't remember what his name is, but the one with the spider legs, and he goes all over. Teleports from one place to the next.
Yeah. He's half machine and
Axis.
Yeah.
Thank you to Batman. Axis.
Yeah,
yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I really did like that encounter because that was just ultimate chaos.
Yeah, those are both definitely good encounters. I would say a fun one, not to go with what you all said. I do like the Vow Disciple, the third encounter. Is it the third encounter? Where you have to do the rooms and swapping the
crystal things,
the crystals and all that. That is fun. It was really tough at first, but after everybody gets the rhythm of it, it is a really fun encounter where everybody does participate.
And Drafty's going old school. He's like, trade Kingsley for Buster Knuckles. I don't think they're doing a podcast anymore, Drafty. I hate to tell you, man. I think they ended that podcast a while back.
That's why Dez is here.
Yep.
5%ers into swapping. Valve the trifle. X and Y axis prime. Nice Mohafel. Man. Any other questions for the show in live chats? I was trying to think of a question for you all as we're kind of going through this, just to, let's have a little more fun tonight. It doesn't have to be a very long episode, but definitely something a little more lighthearted than what we normally would do. 5 folks for the 5%er.
I've got a question for you two. So we've got Season of Plunder now. What do you think the next season's going to be?
Ooh.
And how do you think it's going to lead into Lightfall?
That might be a question for the month.
Nope. It's on Guardian Hub. You can't take it.
Damn it. Oh, man. What do I think? I mean, Sin? You got it, man. I got to think about this.
Before the Witch Queen, we had that whole season of like her being encased and then releasing her, and that led into the Witch Queen. And we knew what was coming in Witch Queen. We knew who the big bad was. But we don't really kind of know too much about Lightfall as yet. Do you think it's going to be a Callus season next season, seeing as we've kind of already had a Callus season? Or is it going to be something else that maybe just the end of it ties into Lightfall? And
I think I think we did have a Callus season last season, right?
Yeah.
And how often are they going to do that? We haven't really had a Vex season, right? Last season was not Vex.
Yeah, it's been a while.
This season's definitely not Vex. And, I think since it's been a while for that, my thought is it is going to be a Vex themed season. I was just telling somebody the other day, back in the car business, one of the salespeople actually plays Destiny 2. I was talking about, I kind of miss like those community events like we had during like the Sundial event where everybody had to send in their pictures and community
corridors of time. Yeah.
Yes. And like the Whisper of the Worm mission, the Outbreak missions, those missing like those like big like secrets and like just like keep you attached, bring like the community together type things in the game. I'm hoping this next season they do something like that. Again, I think my thought is it'll be Vex inspired.
Yeah.
Man, I have not been right yet on the seasons. They've always been zagging when I'm zigging. Obviously it's going to build up to the invasion on the city, right? So we have one more season left until the expansion?
Yeah.
I would well, do you think the frozen queen on Europa that's unfrozen now that we're chasing around, she's trying to get these baubles. I'm terrible with names. What's her name?
Aramis.
Aramis, yes. Do you think we're gonna defeat her at the end of this season? We think we're finally gonna put her down? If that's the case, then the next logical step would be I don't see the Vex involved here. For some reason I just see the Vex sitting out of this one. I'm thinking there's going to be some kind of Fallen activity again. I see Fallen involved in this last season.
I think it'll be a little overdone if they do it.
I understand
if it
that.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, right. So the story part of it, I guess, doesn't have to follow like the seasonal activities, right?
Right.
So I mean, I guess they could be separated, and we
That's
could
true.
continue with Aramis or something Callus related or Witness related, like Batman said. But it has been a while to really have something Vex focused. I agree with Batman in the chat. I think Vex would be a nice play for this final season, something Vex related, especially a dungeon.
That would be cool.
I definitely agree with you, Sin, on that. I think it's going to be Vex, and I think possibly that it could be moon related to the pyramid on the moon, because that kind of ties in with the stories that have kind of been happening. We didn't. I think it was Nezarek. Somebody said, I think in one of the lore videos I was watching, that the pyramid on the moon could have been his pyramid, and he decided to go against the witness and things like that. So yeah, I think it might be Moon and more Vex on the moon.
Here's to hoping.
Yeah.
I'm going through and pinning a couple things here just so I can come back to them.
Yeah, we got a lot of questions here.
I feel like Guardian down now. Let's do one that I didn't pin yet. Here, let me find it. It was, hopefully I didn't accidentally delete it, but I think it was Batman. Who would you choose on a raid team?
I think Hazel had that. What's your dream raid team?
Yes, Hazel. That was it. Dream raid team. Night Demon.
Oh God, you lot and Respawn. I'd just take everybody. I don't really know anybody else. You guys know what you're doing. I can tease Respawn with messing about and really upset him, because the last time that he tried to shepherd me through a raid was I can't remember the name of it, but I really upset him, and I knew what I was doing because I'd already watched the videos, but I was really playing him up with the mechanics, and he was getting really frustrated and really angry, and he swore that he was never going to take me to a raid again, and he stayed true to that to this day. So I'd just like to take him just so I can mess with him again.
Nice.
Jeez, there's no right answer here. This is a total setup question. Because it's gonna look like you're playing favorites.
I'll give you a minute to think about it. So we have there's a few of us that typically raid together, right? Edifier, Yoda, Kingsley, myself, Ninja, and Kato. Typically, and Batman. Sorry, don't want to forget one. We're typically, all raiding together. So a lot of the times, we kind of put it together to, knock out some challenges together. Last season, that actually was the season before, right? When we had the raid, and just really start knocking out challenges and raiding together. And, it's when we do them, we can usually get through them fairly quick, and we have a rhythm down. If we're talking like dream team, like that's probably never going to happen. Obviously, if I could raid with some of the day one raiders out there that can get it done in 6 hours and knock it through, like not necessarily a Datto, but those type level of people, I would actually be interested in raiding with somebody like them, just to see how they do it and see how they communicate.
All right, I got the perfect raid team. Because technically, women are smarter than us. I would go with Brittany. I would go with Heckbringer Savannah. I would go with Parlus. Sorry, Hades. Then I would go with Queen Slayer. She's Fat Blinsky's girlfriend. And then I would go with Ninja Muffin. All girl team. Show me the way. Show me how to raid. There we go.
Awesome. Even when Ninja wipes multiple times on totems. I'm kidding, Muffin. When you go to listen to this, if you're listening to this,
I've got a lot of raids.
I'm just
playing
with
her
you.
Stuff.
She does.
She just likes to troll sometimes.
She puts up a lot with me during raids when I shoulder charge her into walls and a lot of other people into the walls.
Oh my God, that was annoying.
Or running ahead because I like to speed run through.
Yeah, you got me like 3 times, and I even tried to avoid you a few times.
That's because I can't sit still. I don't even do that when I'm playing like normally. Like I'll jump from Gambit to Crucible to Dares to Patrol, and I'm jumping all around because I don't like sitting still, because the time I do play on the game,
Batman
I don't want to
do
sit in
that
the tower
all the time. Batman would body slam me all the time with his Titan, all the time, especially if we're on platforms like on the Leviathan. Funny story. We had a guy who was everyone kind of knew that I don't like getting vaulted from Titans, with the shoulder charge. We had a I think it was a new light, not a new light, but we did an LFG because we just couldn't find a sixth. And the guy came in and immediately he slammed me off the platform. And I was like, dude, you're out of here. No, that's not going to happen. You're not my friend. You can't do that. I get real defensive with that. I don't know why, but it just bugs me. I usually when I'm in menus or something, that's when it happens. But yeah, I bet you Ninja remembers that. But I'm a little sensitive when it comes to the Titan Slam. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Question for the show from Rodimus Prime, actually. How many channels are too many for a Discord server? This is definitely a troll for GDC.
You guys definitely have less channels than us.
We definitely have less channels.
Not by much.
I do think you all should prune, but definitely not my place. But you all have a lot of activity in some of those channels, and I can barely keep up with mine. We don't, our channels here in the Guardian Hub, and like I go through there. You all have I see Brittany all the time, Parlus, I think, and a lot of that crew. They're always posting in chat, and then I'm like, I have to skim. Like I can't keep up.
It's getting tough for me. I mean, I'll jump in and try to skim what's been going on during the day, and it's just getting harder and harder to do. So I think Rodimus even popped in today and said, I just woke up. Somebody please catch me up on what's going on in the chat. It's been, I'm loving it. I love the activity. I love people talking to each other. Time I come from work, though, it's just like, woof. But, the way Hazel and I look at it is if they're using the channel, we're not going to get rid of it. If there's activity in that channel, we keep it. If there's no activity, then we'll get rid of it. It's taking up space. But everyone's been so active. I mean, it's just been pretty good. So, Rodimus, I think it's fun. I see no problem here.
Everything is awesome. Nitedemon, any follow up on that?
No, I mean, you guys have got pretty small channels compared to a lot of people out there, and I don't think you've got anything to worry about, to be honest.
All right. Question for the show. Since it's been a while, from Hazelnut, favorite Nickelback song?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Nickelback.
Speaking of which, didn't you finally get a Nickelback song on your playlist?
We've got more than one. The floodgates are open. I've just given up.
How You Remind Me is always a good one.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite out of the ones you don't like?
I actually like Nickelback. I used to listen to them a lot.
Oh, the only one that I know of Nickelback is Rockstar.
Damn it! You just took mine. That's one of my favorites.
That's the only one I know.
No, I like rock. I like Rockstar. It's just more of a hardcore song of theirs. You want to answer?
All right. So both of you, Rockstar, How You Remind Me, both good choices. Question for the show, since this relates to the amount of channels. Does size matter? Thank you, Hazelnut, for that. I posted this in live chat, but they always say it's not the size that counts, the motion of the ocean. Just remember, it does take a long time to get to England in a rowboat.
Or if you're already here, you're sorted.
I wouldn't want to be in the Atlantic right now.
Correct. Okay, so question for the hub, which Gator Nitedemon, you're part of the hub tonight. When is Destiny Online happening?
Soon, Mo.
It's already
soon,
online.
Mo. Very soon.
Yeah,
You're right.
online.
You know what? Technically, we are online. That's true.
Online.
Question answered.
Now, I thought of you, Gator. I don't think we really talked about this during the showcase. I believe their exact verbiage when they were talking about it, they have been updating the engine.
Yes,
was their exact wording, which one doesn't allow for future sunsetting. A lot of the stuff we're seeing now is going to stay in the game. I think with the exception they said based on is just seasonal content. Obviously, that's going to expire because it's seasonal bound, right? Which we expect. So I think if you're looking for a true online experience, it could be here a lot sooner than we think. And that could be probably their plan for final shape.
Maybe I was just a little ahead of my time. And of course, right on cue, Kingsley's chiming in. He's going to give us his technical reason why it's not an engine. But that's not what Gator said. He wants I do want everything in it. I want Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 combined. I think Destiny 1 is a waste right now. What a waste of fantastic
Do you not think that that's
database.
what they're trying to do?
I think they're doing it slowly, maybe, so their servers can handle it. But I honestly think until the old consoles fall off, because there's limited bandwidth there because of hardware, I think once the hardware catches up, I think they'll be able to. I think they'll be able to bring stuff over quicker.
Yeah. I would honestly like to see if they could bring most activities back. And by most activities, really the raids that we've, that have gone away. The legacy tab, we already have it there. Even if they don't bring back, let's say, older maps or strikes or planets or whatever the case may be, or, running a, red war campaign. I'm not so concerned about that. For me, I would be super happy with just having all the raids back and having a choice to be able to go back and play them.
All the raid weapons and armor. Yeah, I love Wrath of the Machine. I was kind of hoping it would be Wrath of the Machine this season, but because I love the Warlock set where the light's piercing through the little vents in the jacket or whatever you want to call it. Don't dare call it a dress. But I have pictures of where the light is, the red beams of light are coming through the ornament you put on it. It's just so gorgeous. One of my favorite pieces. Nostalgia.
Question for the hub. Mohafo again. Mohafo, by the way, I do appreciate you. I've been listening to you on Guardian Downcast. So we definitely appreciate, I'm sure on both sides of the fence, the participation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It means a lot. What is the second best hub on the net? I can tell you.
Online?
Yes. I guess we can say whatever we want. I did see something today, fair enough, and you guys can answer here in a second. The other hub, more so the After Dark version of the hub, is banned from Instagram. So I think they might have lost their title as second best hub.
Ooh. Why don't we just say Destiny Hub?
There you go. Nitedemon?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you just answered your question.
Let's see. Question for the show. Mr. Clan member Nut. How sustainable is bringing back all the raids? Would people really do them? So this is more along the lines of, my thought there. Nitedemon, go first. What do you think about the sustainability if they brought back all the raids?
Well, they are bringing back all the raids slowly, and everyone is playing them. So I think whatever they're doing is working. I'm a bit upset that they didn't bring back the reprised armor from when they reprised it in Destiny 1. We had all that lovely glowing armor. Why isn't it not in Destiny 2?
Gator?
I think it's sustainable. We're not talking about a ton of raids here. If they were to bring back all the raids, I would love it. We could have a raid night every week and play a different raid every week. That way everyone gets experience doing it. I think it's sustainable.
Awesome.
To bring a few planets back, though.
I'm going to do this really quick.
Yeah,
question for the show. And I know there's some thoughts beaming around this in the live chat right now. We're going to have another appearance to give their thoughts as well. Question for the show from Mr. Rodimus Prime. How do you think the community can get more people to raid instead of the same 20-ish people? Mr. Lots of Thoughts himself on this one. Kato.
Yes.
Your thoughts, sir.
This is something that I've been talking to a couple people in the Discord about. GDC, Guardian Hub, all the above. And I don't know if it's just, I know we're all so comfortable raiding with each other, but honestly, I've been kind of tempted to get a group of 4 or 5 Guardians together and just either LFG it through the Destiny app or doing guided games on a weekly basis. Just to kind of either A, get more people to the Discord, or just helping the new people out that haven't found the communities yet.
Nice. And I'll answer this in a minute. I'll go last and give my thoughts. Gator?
I think the biggest problem with rating period is you have to set aside a certain amount of time. There's a lot of gaming dads out there that have only a certain amount of time at night. And we were talking earlier about day one taking like 12 hours. That's definitely the exception, obviously. But you can usually expect 2 hours on most raids, 3 hours if it's, if you have more than one new person. But lately we've been bringing in a lot of people who haven't gotten the raids done. A lot of new members have come into our Discord and say, I've never done this raid, and Hazel's usually in charge of setting it up, but we've got games going all the time, man. All the time we have stuff in the 100.io bot and been putting games together. But I think the biggest hiccup for most people is they want to jump on, do some bounties, do some patrols, collect some stuff, maybe run the seasonal story, and then they're off for the night. I think raids are a commitment, and especially when 5 other people are committed, or you are counting on you to be there, it may be too much pressure for some people. They might be a little intimidated. Intimidation is definitely a factor too, because we've had people who were with other communities that said, listen, once they found out we didn't know what we were doing, they booted us out of the damn team. And we immediately took them in a raid, and we didn't boot them. So I'm starting to really enjoy, like Kato was saying, I'm starting to enjoy taking some new people into the raids. And I'm not a Sherpa. I'm more of a lieutenant. If I know the raid, I like to help and assist the leader. I don't really like the Sherpa. It's just not my deal. But if I have to, I'll try to explain it the best I can. I think more people are. I think Kingsley's right. More and more people are jumping into raids. And once they do, they realize how much fun it is. They don't even look back. It's just getting the people through that front door.
Nitedemon?
Don't do enough raids to really comment on it.
Fair.
If I do a raid, it is normally with LFG. I'm normally searching on LFG and I join the group, and I'll always help out if I can. If I know the raid, I'll help out as much as I can, and I'm not really fussed about actually completing it. I'm more, there to help the team.
Yeah. I'll speak for Kingsley here. So he put a couple comments. Time thing can be solved. Obviously with like what Kato said, you have 4 to 5 people you normally play with. Your ones that are super familiar with the raids. Get 2 people new max. Commit to about 2 hours or so, give or take, depending on how the new people mesh with the raid. And you can knock them out from there. He also does mention people commit 2+ hours to Iron Banner, right? So you can allot that time instead of Iron Banner. You can raid, right?
But here's the difference, Sin. In a raid, if you say, guys, my wife just came in, I got to go, you're in a lurch. You're leaving your team in a lurch because they need 6 people. You jump out of an Iron Banner match, it's no big deal. People are like, okay, we'll just run with 5 then. We'll just have to take on a random. You can't do that in a raid. In a raid, it's dedicated 6 people. And if it's late at night, especially, and you can't find a 6th, it can leave your team in a lurch.
Yeah, it could. But you always have backups for that, right? I think a lot of
That's
us,
true.
that raid together probably have, a few backups. We can say, hey, I need you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Kingsley the other day. I need you. I know you're not home. You didn't respond to this request. When are you going to be on? Text back. Bam. I'm there. To Kato's point and to what Rodimus is really asking, right? How do we get more people to raid? Have more than the 20 people that normally do, except for the one-offs where somebody wants their first or second clear and needs help with like a catalyst run. Shout out to Dan Finity, big community member in Destiny. He did a lot of community runs, right? Where he had his group of people stream, bring in viewers that need help with raid clears. This piggybacks really much on what Kato is saying, where you go LFG or do the guided games and bring new people through. You can stream, bring new people through. That's something, Kato, if you want, we could try to put together. I'll have, starting next week, I'll have set days off. Sundays I'll have off. Maybe on Saturday nights when I get home, we can dedicate 4 or 5 hours and run people through raids. And whether it's we LFG them, bring them in on stream, and we put on out on Twitter, doing raid helps, and then nobody joins the stream. Maybe we bring in guided games and just start bringing people into the communities, and we can build up the community of people who want to raid and give everybody more option.
Right.
Nice. That's actually a really good discussion. So great question, Rodimus. Prime on that one. I think I got a couple more pinned here. Question for the show. What weapon do you want as the next seasonal exotic? Batman says he would love a hand cannon, even though we have too many of them. Night Demon, why don't you take us on this one first? Nope, he is muted. We'll come back if he's working. Gator.
Can you repeat the question? I was looking at a text.
All good.
Sorry.
What weapon do you want as the next seasonal exotic?
Okay.
Batman mentions he would prefer a hand cannon. Your thoughts?
Not a hand cannon. Sorry, Batman. I'm not a hand cannon guy. I mean, I'm being selfish here, of course, but how about a I like this. I mean, I'm a pulse rifle guy. I'd like to see another pulse rifle. And I'm sorry, that one we got from the witness witness raid. I'm still not impressed
Elective
with that.
obligation.
I'm still not impressed with it. I've tried getting it to proc, and it's just a very complicated weapon. I think they overcomplicated that gun. And it's only a 390. It's only an adaptive, so it's not even really, you can't even take it in a crucible. So yeah, they need to bring something else in that's has a different mechanic to it or something. I would say a pulse rifle. Answer's always a pulse rifle for me. Sorry.
Kato, how about you?
I actually kind of have to agree with Batman. I do want another exotic hand cannon, but I do not want it to be a 140. I either want another exotic 180 or an exotic 120.
Interesting. And why?
Because we only have one of those. We have Malfeasance as the exotic 180 and Sturm as the exotic 120. That's it. Everything else is the 140. Or outside of Sunshot, which is a 150, but
Interesting. Welcome back, Night Demon. Exotic for you for next season.
I would like an energy auto rifle. We don't have enough of them.
Fair enough.
that is actually. I mean, do you really need one though? There's hard light. It's all
Hard
over.
light. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. What are you trying to sell me here?
He's not buying.
and one energy to rule them all.
How about a scout rifle like that has multiple?
You've got quite a few scout rifles.
Not
There's
one that
enough of them.
switches. Not one that switches elements.
Do you need one though?
No. Pulse rifle.
I am seeing a lot of good choices here in chat.
Dude, get out of here with that. We do not need another
He
heavy.
just popped that in.
No, Scoot. No.
Now, the one thing he did mention, what I think would be interesting is a breech loaded grenade launcher. Not a heavy, but the breech loaders, that would be interesting.
We've got what? 3 of
Heavy-
those?
Yeah, exotic stasis sword. Yeah.
Exotic heavy grenade launcher. That I've already got like 5 of them that sit in my vault. I never use.
I've got a
Including
lot
the
of
Parasite.
exotics I never use.
There's only 2 energy exotic auto rifles. We need a new one. We need
You
an
know-
arc one.
I'm switching teams. I'm with Team Night Demon. I like an auto rifle too.
Monte Carlo.
Something different. No, that's a primary.
True.
Energy
I don't-
auto rifle.
I want an energy auto. Something different, you know. I mean, the service was quite, it's quite unique.
Monte Carlo
Hazel
is not the
wants-
one I was thinking. What was the D1 one that was the ARC?
Zalo.
Yes.
Yes, I'll take that.
There
Bring it
you
back.
go.
Destiny 1 weapon. There we go.
Yeah, but then what does it do that's different to Risk Runner now?
Exactly.
It didn't have very good range either.
Yeah.
So
Neither
basically,
does Risk
I,
Runner. What's your
I
point?
typically do not run SMGs, put it to you that way. There, I find more versatility with the auto, honestly.
I mean, the hard light would be great if it still didn't have kick. It still has a little bit of kick. It just doesn't feel like I'm shooting it right.
We're
It,
not
it
talking about PvP here, Gator.
no, I'm talking about PvE also. When I use it in PvE, it's just it feels like half the bullets aren't reaching the target. It's just a weird feeling with that gun. I don't know. It's just me.
Well, it's such a small mag size on Hardlight too.
That's
So.
true. That's true.
Man, great conversations on that. We actually have one more question I have pinned from Mohafo. Question for the hub. Y'all excited for jumping puzzles with Strand, grappling that hook? Kato, why don't you start with this one?
I can't wait to be Spider-Man.
Cyberpunk Spider-Man?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they've kind of like oversold it at this point. And it's not going to be as good as it looks. Or it's going to be overly complicated to do.
I can see that. Gator, what do you think on that?
I remember in Battlefield 2042 when I first played it, before I never played it again, there was a specialist that had a grappling hook, and it was deadly. If you knew how to use it correctly, you could just ambush people so well with it. It had great range. I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm gonna just have to see how the mechanics work and how kind of range it has. But I mean, I'd be down to try it.
Night Demon? What do you
I
think
think
about Spider-Man?
I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, everybody was going off on one, going, oh, because they brought stasis into the game and those grenades, and people going to get out of bounds and things. And everything was kind of brought in line. Nobody kind of broke the game with those grenades after a while. I think they'll have it toned for the Strand, won't they? And I think that I read or heard that it's going to be tied to like either the melee grenade or class-based energy. So you'll only be able to use it like maybe once or twice before you have to wait for it to charge back up.
I thought it was more tied to it was just going to not necessarily an ability cooldown. It was just kind of there.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, but I heard that it was going to be tied to an ability.
If it's going to be tied to an ability, then it's not going to be near as fun.
It'll be a cooldown.
Well, I mean, Icarus Dash, right, is in-air dodge, not tied to an ability, but it has a cooldown. It could be something very similar to that. Like, you double press the button to engage it. It would have a cooldown, so you can't use it, back to back. You might have a 2 or 3 second cooldown, like you do it like an Icarus Dash.
Yeah.
But I think it would be definitely interesting. I can't remember if they said it's going to be everywhere in all the worlds once you have it, or if it's only going to be on Neptune or not.
They did say you should be able to use it everywhere, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there was a clip, wasn't there? The trains that are on the Warden of Nothing strike. Somebody grappled onto the back of one of them, was pulling along in that trailer.
So I guess my question would be: is it going to be you can only use it with the environment, or you can actually be like scorpioning enemies to you, like?
Well, you can do it midair without anything there, so that would be kind of cool. I'm not sure, because doesn't the Hunter have a similar ability using Strand as like a grappling hook or a like tethering to enemies and bringing them?
Or Super's a rope dart. So
yeah, so I'm not sure how that'll work with most of the ads or enemies that we encounter. But for jumping puzzles, if it does work well and the cooldown's short, if it has a cooldown, I think it'll definitely add a new layer to it, and probably, depending on, this is subject to change once we experience it, right, during Lightfall. But if it does give us much greater mobility, an upward mobility as well, it could definitely trivialize a jumping puzzle.
Well,
Yeah.
on that same point, you think about it. We get a new raid with Lightfall and the new abilities. Can you imagine the nightmare that jumping puzzle could possibly be?
If you don't have a grappling hook.
Yeah, it's
Right.
maybe one of those that puzzle maybe. I wouldn't say it's going to be impossible, but I bet it's going to be difficult without Strand on.
I can see that.
No, I don't think they would build a raid just for that one subclass.
I think the point it might be that it's more difficult, but I kind of agree to see where you're saying, and you kind of where you're both at on that.
Mhm.
It would be interesting to have needing that ability, right, to be able to complete it. But on the same token, those who don't want to run it, how are you going to penalize them? I do see that as well.
You better just give it to the new players too. Don't make them jump through too many hoops to get that new subclass.
You know what's going to happen.
Rodimus is killing himself right now to get. He's trying to get caught up. He's killing himself right now trying to go through all those stages to get all the stasis crystals. I hated that part.
Ugh.
That was miserable.
At this point, we're on an expansion past.
Yeah.
Beyond Light. Why it should just give it to you at this point. You bought it, just give it to us. Fuck
They've
it.
auto-completed stuff in the past. I don't know why they didn't do here. I was
Sure
hoping
they-
they would actually, because I did only my Warlock that season. I was hoping the
Right.
next season they would just give you all the rest of them, and they didn't. I was like, oh man. So that entire season was me trying to get stasis for my Hunter and for my Titan. It was not enjoyable.
Now, I do see why they probably are not going to autocomplete it, because that is content that has not left the game. The story
Yes.
is still playable for new lighters, and it's part of that experience, which they said they're not going to be sunsetting. So I get why they're not just handing it out.
Rodimus, how's that experience going, buddy?
Well, on that same point though, Sen, when they introduced the new subclasses in Forsaken after Shadowkeep came out, they just gave them to you.
I do agree with that portion there. Yes, they just gave them to you, right?
Before they sunset the Forsaken campaign.
So was it I'm trying to remember, like Red War, when we lost the powers, what we had to jump through to go get it back. We had to basically find our light again, right? In Destiny 1, they made you go through and learn the subclasses. We don't have that content from Destiny 1 or the beginning of Destiny 2 when we lost it. So there's no way to be able to go in, play through a campaign to get it. So I kind of see the thought process there. It does suck. Rodimus obviously, is feeling that pressure now, having to go back and complete it. But, if you are doing other stuff, I'm a big proponent for trying to multitask that stuff out. Some of that stuff, obviously, they pigeonhole you into doing one thing or the next, right? But on the same token, if it's something that you have to do kills with or certain objective base where you have to do something, you can sometimes multitask that out. If you're running bounties and you like to do bounties, right? Do the bounties and that at the same time. If you got to run gambit matches, you can run your gambit matches and get your seasonal activities or weekly XP activities done.
That reminds me, I got to start playing Gambit because they got a really cool 390 adaptive pulse rifle that has the fast firing.
Gator, nobody really needs to go and play Gambit.
I know, man. I'm gonna have to just go in solo, I guess.
No.
Just do a little bit next week. Just play 3 games per character just to get that pinnacle,
That's
and
what I'm
then
gonna
just
do.
leave it alone. Yeah,
If it drops, it drops, right, Nitedemon?
yeah. Don't fixate on it.
Yes, Desperado, Frenzy Fate. Thank you. Yeah, it's the only adaptive 390 with that perk, Desperado. So I'm just curious to see how well it works.
What's it called?
The pulse rifle?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't have one yet, so I can't tell you. I think it dropped did it drop last season, I think? In Gambit? No, it didn't. I think it dropped this season.
Yes, this season.
I don't have the gunsmith open.
Oh, thank you. Frenzy says yesteryear.
The yesteryear. Yeah. That sounds right. All I saw a video of Sewala playing with it today. I'm like, I gotta have that gun. See, for me, it's about the weapons, man. Give me the weapons.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yeah.
give me the hoop and I'll jump through it. As Parody would say.
Unpopular opinion, but I feel like they got rid of sunsetting way too quick.
They gave up on it.
Yep.
Gonna be a problem soon with that vault. Even the most conservative vault players.
I think we're kind of seeing it in the short term. Yes, I think they got rid of it too quick, but again, with that comment that they worked on the engine, whatever they've done, obviously we don't have all the details and what their plans are, but they probably have something in place where it's not going to matter. And really time will tell. We could speculate all the way we want. Dedicated servers, new engine, Suns or getting rid of the old console support must be on PS5 or Xbox Series X or computer. That's all speculation. That could happen really at any point, right? Depending on their plans of rollout. But they mentioned they're in this for the long term. And without sunsetting content going forward, the game could get really big. Vault space could definitely be an issue. Inventory as far as your consumables, your in-game money or currencies, that could be an issue, right?
Sin, what are you talking about? Vault space is going to be an issue. It is an issue. It's always an issue. Yeah.
For some,
hey, don't worry. Weapon crafting is going to save it, though. I did that for Hazel.
No, because no, because you need. Well, you don't necessarily need it, but there are 2 god rolls for the BXR that are different roles, and you have to craft them as those 2 different roles. So already, I'm now doubling up on weapons, and from the videos that I've been watching, people are saying if you've got this roll on the BXR, hold on to it because you can't now get it because those perks have now disappeared. I'm like, now I've got 4 rolls of the blooming weapon. Oh my god!
So, I think it was Rodimus that I was talking to about this, and I have a vault problem. It's because last season I just threw things in the vault and I didn't clear it out. So I started clearing it out the other night. And then you really kind of have to ask yourself, okay, it's a god roll, but are you actually going to use it? Like, it's a god roll for PvP. Are you going to use it? You're going to keep using the same 3-4 weapons you've used for the last year or 2. Like, if you're not really actually going to use it, get rid of it.
That's my problem. I use them. I go, oh, I saved these 3 weapons. Let's try these 3 weapons. And I go, oh, these are pretty good in certain situations. I'll keep them. And then they just stay there.
Right. But do you put them back in the vault? When do you pull them back out again?
Normally every Iron Banner, because I like, especially now with the not being light levels, I can pull out weapons that I've got just saved up. I pulled out an Imperial Decree, which 1350, but it had I can't remember the punching perk. I can't remember the name of it. The not swashbuckler, trench spell. That was it, and it was perfect as a primary. That's what I wanted.
You could literally right now craft everything they have in the game, which is only a fraction, and get rid of every other weapon, and you'd be in good shape.
No, I wouldn't.
I just did a quick calculation in DIM here, real quick, about the vault space.
Oof.
I mean,
exotics you can pull from collections, right? Except for the ones that have some random rolls. You can't pull the random rolls you need, right? For the most part, most of them are static. Sparrows, exotic sparrows, you can pull from their collections, right?
Yep.
Exotic ghosts.
I don't keep them. No.
So I can tell you, I've kept every exotic, and that just tells you how limited I am on space because of this. I have 391 exotics when I do a dim search. Half of those are sparrows and ghosts. I could clean up a load of space in my vault by deleting all of them. I could delete, just for example, I could delete Polaris Lance. I don't use that. I can delete Jotun. I don't use that. I don't think I finished the catalyst yet, by the way. I probably need to go back and do that.
That college, that
I have
I mean, that's-
255, by the way.
I can
in my
kill.
vault.
I can just delete those.
Half my
It-
vault.
My question for anybody listening to this who has issues with Vault: look at your exotics and the ones you don't use, and if you deleted most of those, the ones that don't have random rolls and they're static, could you part ways with them and then just pull them when you need them? You have a couple pieces of infusion fodder in your inventory if you needed to pull it quick and infuse it up. Making you all think out there.
Well,
do you
for
think?
weapons that works, but for armor, the problem with if you grab a piece of exotic armor out of the vault, they give you like a crappy roll. It's terrible. They don't
Agreed.
give you the same roll you dismantled. It's like it
But
defaults to
leaving
like a
those out of
55.
there- Leaving
What's that?
those out of there, if you take the armor out of the equation,
Okay.
and let's just call it, for example, use my number or your number. I have 391. Let's say I cut out half of that. That's nearly 200 exotics I could probably part ways with, assuming that 200 of those are armor.
See, for me, it's very heavily weighted towards armor. I have maybe 70 of the 255 are exotic weapons. All
Ghosts?
the rest are exotic pieces with it that have really good rolls.
You have ghosts in your vault?
No.
Yep, I do have a few.
Sparrows?
No.
Yep. Sparrows and ships I have as well.
I do. I have a ton of sparrows, a ton of ships, and a
And I
ton
can
of.
get rid of them, but they're expensive to get back. So it's like, well,
It's relative,
How-
right?
Hold on.
and it's like a
hold on,
daily
hold
thing.
on. How often do you change your sparrow?
I do a lot. My ships too. I rotate
but
them
you-
all the time.
You
The
don't
ship-
need more than
understand.
what you can carry on your persons.
That's true. And that is 3, 6, 9, 10. 10 per character.
Yeah.
I have one character who's maxed out. The other two aren't.
Is there really any other sparrow other than always on time?
No.
No.
Well, what about
Being
the
realistic. No.
No. You gotta put the skitter scare vehicle on the spider.
Female
especially
from
if Hazel's
collections
raiding
for
with me.
Festival of the Lost, and then you delete it as soon as festival's over. Like, come on.
No, I still got mine. It's great.
I kept one
bright
legendary.
red. It's bright red.
I don't even know why I have it. I think I have one legendary ship. But I probably should just go through and delete all these.
You guys have the crab cycle? It has little pinchers that are always moving. That
Nope.
one's fun too. I like That's just me. I just like rotating stuff. It makes it interesting, especially ships.
4,000 glimmer and 5 legendary shards for a ghost that you most likely will never pull.
Well, now wait a minute. Now
Pretty
ghosts
much.
are different. Ghost, I have different ghost mods for each ghost. That way I can quick swap them. If I'm
But do
jumping
you
into
need
Crucible,
more than
well,
10?
I got one for Crucible, one for Gambit, one for Vanguard. I have
That's
one
3.
I have one for farming
4,
Glimmer. I have one for farming materials.
5,
I have another one for farming rep.
6?
So, why?
But I'm
You
going
can
to
just
just we'll
quick
put it in
swap 'em. You don't
perspective.
have to you don't have to rebuy the perk. You have to buy the perks for them.
So do that. But you don't need them in your my
Hold on.
thought is you don't need them in your vault. You can have what you need on your character on all your
That-
characters,
Not,
and those don't take that much to masterwork.
That's true, but I'm lazy and I don't like to go to dim and have to swap it all out. I'd rather all my characters have at least 6, and they all
But-
do.
I guess my question is why? Because it doesn't cost anything to socket mods on your ghost and change the mods. It's free. There isn't a single mod that costs anything to socket anymore.
The other
Which
dude,
is
it
also
costs
correct.
500 glimmer per slot. If you
Nope.
if you
No.
empty the slots,
Okay, it's 500 glimmer per slot.
yeah,
not bad.
and it's
Or-
about it's about I'm trying to remember what it costs to masterwork a ghost. It's a lot of enhancement cores, legendary shards, and glimmer. It's not a lot. I'd say maybe it's probably 10. I want to say 10 enhancement cores per ghost, and then all the rest are legendary shards and glimmer. I mean, if you're rolling with it, great. But if you're a new player, you don't have that kind of money. You got to hang
No,
on to
but
it.
we're not talking about new players. We're talking about hoarders
Oh,
here.
our problem. Gotcha.
I'm
Yeah.
a hoarder. I'm on the other end. Most of the time, I'm maxed out on Glimmer. Very recently, because the season's starting and you have to buy all the
Everything?
stuff for Arc, I dropped down to under 100. But I also still have 26,000 legendary shards. I just go buy more.
It's
Or
not that I'm
Pop in one of those Rainmakers for Glimmer.
Rainmakers,
Yeah,
yeah.
Rainmakers, those drop, you get those free. You don't even have to buy them. They drop all the time. But I think it's not lazy so much, Kingsley. It's just if I'm jumping into a raid and I want to up my XP per encounter, I want to just be able to swap the ghost out. I don't want to say, hold on, guys. Hold on. I know you're in orbit and you're ready to go, but I need to swap out my ghost mods. Hold on a second.
Here's the thing. You're already there. You're already there at that point. You're already down there by your ghost. Just fucking right click and change the mod.
Well, mine are multiple. All my ghosts do several things in one ghost.
What we know about this conversation, obviously, there are different strokes for different folks, right?
Yeah, that's why I
not
play the
He's
game.
in.
I'll be the mediator here. I do have separate ghosts. I probably don't have as much as Gator because I don't really care about Vanguard, Crucible, or the only thing I care about is XP or the one for when you're trying to pull armor. That's to me the only thing that really matters. I end up finding enough Glimmer when I'm playing by using the Rainmakers, which I have too many of. I have enough enhancement cores, but I have the one consumable where you can drop enhancement cores. I have, just so you know, over 1,300 enhancement cores. I always run out of upgrade modules, which with my current economy, I just buy them and then I use my legendary shards and replenish the planetary materials that I used. But I have enough of those. I have over 3,000 of each. So I really don't even need to do that. I do it just so I have them. Like that's true hoarding. But I also dismantle a crap ton of weapons. The amount of loot that you get from the engrams, the seasonal engrams that you can decrypt, and the vendor engrams, I can tell you that every season, especially Crucible, or Gambit, if I have 40 engrams to turn in at the vendor, I'm not doing it because I don't want to dismantle them and I don't need the materials. But if you take the time to pull them and dismantle them, you should in turn get enough materials where the economy would not matter as much. As long as you're playing the game, the materials will come, honestly. But, in light of it, if you have multiple ghosts, whatever. I sometimes will swap them
I like swapping out ghosts too. I like different looks. I don't know. I just, think how much time the artist put in.
Different folks.
So
exactly.
I have one ghost shell that's masterworked, and it's been the same ghost shell since we could masterwork it. I haven't changed it since.
Yeah, but don't you want to see the other ghost, like the one with snakes around it, or the one with as the aura from the Eris Morn shell, or how about the Earth, the Awakened shell, where you have actually stuff moving around the moon like in real time? You got the lander shell that actually has little fire, little burst boost jets that go off when you open it. All kinds of cool little things they do with these ghosts.
How often do you actually see your full ghost, though?
Oh, I look at it all the time. I just did a video about ghosts, so believe me, I know ghosts. I love ghosts. They're the coolest things ever. They're just neat, just like the ships. Think of the time the artists put in to make all this stuff. I mean,
I'm not saying there's not time to it, but there's so many more interesting aspects.
I just appreciate the art. I appreciate the different looks, like the caravan, the fantastic shell. How cool is that?
Why don't you, every season, you pull 9 different ghost shells out, you level them up, you put your mods on it, and then you rotate which one you want for whatever activity. Make a mental note. That's kind of what I do. Which one does for what? Because otherwise you could be running Gambit and you still got your Crucible going on. As long as you kind of know what you're doing.
Well, another reason why I don't do that as much as I like to is because you start getting used to which ghost goes to what without having to look at the shell. Like I'll have I don't know if you guys know, but you can use projections.
You just said you like the ghost for the shell, so
yeah, I do. That's why I have 10 ghosts in one of my warlock has like 10 ghosts right here. But what I'll do just so I can quickly know what they're for is I'll put in a projection above it like a Vanguard symbol, so I know that's for my strikes. That I already have my enhanced loot legendary loot drop for Nightfalls on that one. Just depends.
I don't use projections at all.
Projections are good. But I don't really care for them, other than they label it. It's like labeling the ghost.
It's just
it's
a waste.
Putting a labeler on them.
Like I like looking at the ghost, but I don't see the point of the projection.
because it's magical.
No,
I mean,
not even that.
The projection itself is more visible than the actual ghost.
I think it's overkill, but they offer them to us, so I use them just to identify what I use the ghost for. Like if I have a glimmer ghost, I put a treasure chest above it.
I'm not saying what you do is wrong. I'm just saying I don't use them because I just don't like them.
I mean, everybody's
he's
different.
not saying it's wrong. It's just wrong for him.
It's why we
Yeah.
love this game. We all play different ways.
I like the idea
There is no
of
wrong
what
answer.
you're saying.
Thank you, Hazel.
Yes, the artist put. I mean, have you seen some of these projections? They're gorgeous.
It's meh.
Exactly. It's meh.
I love all parts of this game. It's just a cool game. They put a lot of artistry in this game. I love it.
Oh, I'm not saying they don't, but ghost mods, ghosts, and projections, really?
If you're playing the game, why not get this easy? It's easy little life improvements instead of getting zero. Your normal 400 glimmer from a chest. Put a 65% ghost shell mod on there, and now you're getting 2,500 glimmer. You won't have to farm glimmer very long.
Nobody farms glimmer.
No,
I
I do.
do.
Sorry.
I do. I spend in this game.
I think we need to have an intervention.
Look,
Apparently.
We have a lot of hoarders amongst us here.
I
So,
come and talk to
okay.
you guys because you're on the same level as me. My wife wants me to, go to therapy for this. I've got an addiction to the game. I've got an addiction to
Right.
doing Destiny stuff.
Right. You only do a podcast about it, right, Nitedemon?
This is a safe place.
Exactly.
I just said in chat, we could start wrapping it up here because we are about the hour and 40-minute mark. This is probably the most fun, I said found, but fun night I've had. One, kind of running things and actually getting to interact more, and fun little conversations and a little banter back and forth. I always have fun doing that. But any guardian out there, can choose what they want to do, whether it comes to ghost, the exotics, or take our recommendations or not.
Sure.
Mhm.
Now say that. I said actually had fun tonight. Mohafo says, now say that without a gun to your head. I don't. It's my show. I'm the one with the gun tonight. Thank you for asking. It's Gator's way or no way. Maybe when it comes to the channels.
Too many channels.
Rodimus is still salty about the channels. That's okay.
Guardians
He's not the only one salty about it. You got way too many over there, man.
Everybody's using them.
Oh,
We aim to please.
with
Why
that,
don't you submit a new recommendation of what you think he should have as channels rather than just tell him he's got too many? Come up with an idea and plan. A little drawing of say this, and this. Simplify
What, a
it for him.
spreadsheet? Is that what I'm
Yeah.
hearing?
Yeah,
You want a
you draw it up.
spreadsheet?
Give him proper argument instead of just saying you've got too many. Go, here's a solution for you.
Yeah,
If
tell
you
me.
like it,
Yeah.
adopt it. If you don't, I understand.
Say, hey,
Thread.
you need to combine these two channels.
threads. Put them into threads inside a channel.
There you go.
Threads.
Solution.
Technology. It's
Or
wonderful.
you know what you could do is just hide him from Rodimus, and he never knows. He never has to worry about it.
There may be a
Side
few
out
already.
Oh, I just tattled on Hazel. Oh well.
Any final thoughts so far tonight, guys? Anybody?
Been a fun season. I'm looking forward to seeing where the story goes. It's for me, my goal this season is to get the weapons crafted, because I do think once you craft the weapon, that'll eliminate some of the space for duplicate weapons in your vault, which will help. It's a band-aid. But overall, I'm liking it.
It'll
I
help.
love the new Iron Banner. I love the new Iron Banner too. It's a lot of fun.
There's not enough of them though. That's the only problem.
Oh, don't get me started. The 2 Iron Banners, that is it?
They know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. How's that gilding going, by the way?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
working.
I'm nearly there. I've only just got, I think, a couple more wins to go.
Oh, that part is going so slow. Such a low percentage.
Just put all the Iron Banner weapons on, all the Iron Banner armor. Yeah, go quite quickly.
Yeah.
And the chat is going off.
good.
Oh,
That
man.
that was good.
Imagine Sin, Kato, and Gator on their own. Nalzi is funny.
Oh, okay. It's like
Someone
that,
would
is it?
break. Someone would
Fine. I will go then.
break.
Not before you give your closing thoughts. Stay tuned here after closing. We will stick around for a little bit for the Guardian Hub After Dark. For anybody who's listened after the fact, get some tidbits after we end the show. We still keep the recording going. Let's start with Psy Master Kato. Where can people find you, sir?
Mostly in the Discord. I do have a Twitter. I don't ever check it. At least I have it installed, unlike Des. But mostly in the Discords. I'm in several. It's the easiest way to find me. And
Magic.
no, I'm not giving it out. Figure it out.
Oh, man. Mr. Working Hard, but hardly working while podcasting, Nitedemon. Where can they find you?
Well, they can find me at Two Titans and a Hunter on the internets, on the webs, or if you're in the chat now, you could just at Nitedemon, and at some point I respond. You know, I do respond. Yeah, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Two Titans and a Hunter.
Awesome. And last but not least, Feet Pick, Bounty Hoarder, Gator.
You know,
Where
I'm
can they
thinking about
find
having
you?
I'm thinking about having an Only Gators channel. You're
Do it.
getting you're getting so popular with yours, Sin.
Exactly.
No, yeah. Our podcast is Guardian Downcast. Hazelnut and I were two gamer dads that have played since the first release of the game, and as you probably have noticed, we get pretty passionate about certain topics in the game. But more importantly, we hear the stories of content creators and our regular Destiny players out there, and we hear all their stories and what brought them to the game and what they enjoy about the game. You can find me. My YouTube channel is Gator, GATR. Don't forget those underscores. And I'm on Twitter, Todd the Gator. Remember, that's GATR.
Amazing. I do want to thank all three of you for jumping in with me tonight. It's been a blast.
Some of us
we
were
should-
invited and some of us weren't.
One good thing about Guardian Hub for a lot of previous guests of the show and our admins, they have free range basically to jump in, which is how Kato got in. Actually, no, I think I did
invited me.
I did invite you, but you can normally jump in at any time. I invited you for that question. That's right. But let's start off first with Des Raven, who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. DES_Raven, typically in the Discord, has a Twitter, doesn't check it, has checked it once, will respond when he gets to you, but mainly in the Discords, especially in the lore channel and all over here in GDC and all the other Discords. You can find Kingsley Mac in all the places now as Kingsley Mac. He won the Twitter war and has earned that right. You can find me, Sin Media, in the Discord or on Twitter at Sin_Media, and possibly starting some more streaming soon. Kato, if you want to get that thing together and bring in some Guardians for Mr. Rodimus Prime and start chirping some more people and bringing them into the fold for raids, that would definitely help out with that.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, you can find the show in all the places, especially on Twitter, the Guardian Hub, or on the lovely website. Thank you, Mrs. Kingsley Mac Stacy, at theguardianhub.com.
Was that my cue?
That's your cue.
The best hub on the net.
Magical. You have to remember, when I'm saying that outro line, somebody else has got to say it. Des is not here, so you inherited Kato.
Oh, okay.
Thank you all again for joining us in the live show. Thank you all again for listening on your podcast app of choice. Thank you to all of our Patreon members. And until next week, stay magical. Bye. Get topped.
Hey, that's my line.
Get tunnel.
Now, welcome to the Guardian Hub After Dark.
Mo.
I will not hop on you for all your ghosts hoarding.
So should we open up speak pipes for Mojave?
What's
No.
speak pipe? What?
Voicemail.
It's
For
a
the
little
show.
voice recording thing. You can send it in and
Like fucking the other guys.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Down Under Guardian got
Down.
new light cast something.
Downcast Guardians.
What did I name it in chat earlier? This episode could be 2 down hub or 2 hub down.
2 up.
I'm getting confused, and I know.
All you got to do is raise that hand, brother. Here, we'll even, I'm going to open up this chaos. This is not going to be a fun podcast to edit at the end.
Hey, you did this to yourself.
I did. But in all honestly, when I do that, anytime the After Dark opens up, I end up having like tons of tracks I got to keep track of.
Oh, is this actually a segment? Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Oh, boy.
For the record, my hand was up, just so you know.
Oh, sorry. All you got to do is tag me next time. I'll pull
Just so
you in.
you know, US won 99 to 96 because Betty White was 99.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's the TikTok I posted.
Ooh,
Ah.
you guys did it now.
Uh-oh.
The true chaos has arrived.